The real estate market has been making some interesting changes lately.
And there's a lot of factors that are going into this. We're going to give you a local perspective, some of the big data from Redfin, and also go over some of the more macro factors. And there's interesting things to consider all throughout the video.
And we're getting started right now.
So first, she's the real estate agent. Tell us what you're seeing locally, what's happening in your world, and kind of give people an idea what's happening in the Sarasota, Northport, Inglewood, and Venice, of course, Nokomis areas.
So typically the summer is the slow time in real estate in Florida. But this summer, it's been crazy. Like, the real estate market is just so unpredictable. I've been really busy trying to help buyers, find their home. I've seen a lot more cash coming in as well. And a lot of sellers, believe it or not, they're waiting for offers that are close to asking price, or maybe not quite above asking, but maybe just a couple thousand below asking. So in other words, they're just willing to sit on the market longer instead of just taking an offer that's like $10,000 or $20,000 under asking, which you would think if they're sitting on the market for a little longer, maybe it's because no one's offering, but that's not the case. It's just they're wanting to wait and wanting to get as much for their property as they can.
And I think another thing to note is there's been, for you at least, a lot of homes like selling, going to contract. It's not one of those situations.
Multiple offers again, which it's quite interesting because again, it's summer and people are buying right now. I've had situations with homes that they've been on the market, say 30 days, and we send an offer and then the seller's agent's like, well, we have multiple offers right now and we have a couple that are actually above asking. So it's like, what's going on again?
So it's kind of getting a little crazy again with the multiple offers.
And this is not for every single home. Just want to throw that out there. It's some homes are sitting on the market a little longer, and depending on the neighborhood or the area, some of those homes are selling quickly while others do sit on the market for a while, and you are able to maybe get a deal on those homes.
So two other questions then as far as local, and then we'll get into some of the more macro things. Is there more inventory on the market right now, number one? And number two, where do you think the best opportunities are for people, or where can they maybe get deals? But for the homes that they maybe can't get deals, what should they expect going into those situations?
We'll get into the actual data in a second, but for what I'm seeing on the local level, it seems like there is more inventory than what it actually is, just because we do have a lot of demand as well. So most of the homes that are still, part of our inventory are homes that most people don't want. Maybe they need updating or they need more work. And some people feel like maybe those homes are overpriced. So they don't want to go into contract with a home that they feel that it's overpriced. So it's kind of like, yes, we do have inventory, but at the same time, those homes are not what people want. So that's why we have inventory.
Okay. And I think one thing to note too is we've been keeping tabs on different markets throughout Florida, and this is a very, local type thing. Here it feels like in Venice, there's a little more inventory building, but like other areas like Orlando, it's going down. So it depends on where you're looking. So take that with a grain of salt. Not all of Florida is going to be one and the same right now.
And as far as getting a deal in this market, I would say look for homes that have been on the market for a little while. They might need some updating. They might need some work. But if you truly want a deal, those are the homes that you should be looking at. Also keeping an open mind as far as location goes. If you want to be in Venice, but you can't find a good deal in Venice, then maybe look in the surrounding areas. And like Northport, it's only about a 30-minute drive to Venice. Inglewood is very, very close to Venice, like especially the South Venice area. Comes as well, Osprey, the Sarasota area. Sarasota, you're not going to find as many deals just because it is a bigger city. So it is priced higher than the Venice and surrounding areas. Also, new construction, if you don't want to go into a home and try to make all the updates yourself, new construction, it's great to look into right now because a lot of builders are actually giving incentives and they are taking offers below asking in some cases. Some builders are more popular than others. So I've heard that they actually have waiting lists again, since a year and a half, 2 years ago. So it's crazy to learn that because most people think that, Florida is just getting out of control, building and building all these homes, who's gonna buy them? But like some builders actually have waiting lists again.
And it goes to show so there's some YouTubers that out there that really like to they're trying to get as many views as possible, and a lot of people want to see the market crash so prices come down, and they really feed on that, but that's just It's just not what's happening. And it's not what, we'll get into the data in a second. That's really not what it's shown. But let's get into some of the more macro things that are happening too that tie into that as far as seeing a crash. So right about now, the speculation has really changed from a lot of people because inflation is getting under control. Jobs have been looking pretty good. So the idea of the recession, or this big recession anyway, happening is starting to fade a little bit. You know, there's still a possibility of somewhat of a recession, but a lot of experts are saying it might be mild. So that factor is kind of out the window now. I would say out of the window, but it's probably, yeah, it's much lower than it was. Then interest rates are starting to flatten out now because inflation is under control, which we've always been saying, you know, we think there's going to be a market correction. Once those interest rates come down, we think the market's going to go crazy again. Well, right now they're flattening, and that's kind of what's happening already. Inventory hasn't built, so that supply demand dynamic isn't there. The one, I think, thing to consider, and this I think might tie into that Venice to, let's say, Orlando area, is, you know, obviously with Hurricane Ian, I think that maybe changed some people's perspectives, or some people that maybe lived in Venice or Sarasota or somewhere, you know,
or like Fort Myers.
Yeah, Fort Myers or Inglewood. Maybe that gave them a little more desire to move inland. And then also insurance. You know, you got the whole insurance issue going on right now, which is a mess, but it's seems like they have some things in place that are going to get it under control in the next couple years here.
This is something that every buyer, you know, wants to know, and I get asked this question a lot about insurance, if we actually have insurance companies in Florida, because a lot of YouTube videos, or even the news for that matter, are like, the information they're putting out there, it's not very, it's for views.
It's very sensationalized.
Yeah, so a lot of people think like there is only maybe like 1 or 2 companies that like it's insuring all of Florida, and that's not the case. I mean, yes, our premiums did go up significantly, yes, but you're still able to find insurance companies that are going to insure your home. The main thing they're looking at is the roof. And so the roof age has to be 15 years or newer. If you have a tile roof, you basically have nothing to worry about because they will insure you. And also some insurance companies, if you're too close to the coastline, like for us in Venice, if you're too close to the coastline, they will not insure you, but there are other companies that will insure you. So we do have options. Premiums did go up a little bit, or quite a lot, but
yeah. And you also had a lot of companies go out of business. We'll do a full video after this video. I think it would be worth it because there's plenty to talk about. So subscribe to catch that video when it comes out. And before we get into the Redfin data, like we mentioned, she is a local realtor. We were talking about all the deals she's doing right now, and we love it. So if you would like to work with a good local realtor,
make sure to call, text, or email us 941-221-1897.
Call, text at any time, whether you're looking to move in the next few days or next few months. We've always got your back. So looking at the Northport Metro's data, keep in mind, again, this is Sarasota, part of Inglewood, Welland Park, of course, Northport, and Venice, Osprey, Nokomis. The new listings they had one down, but they're kind of flattening out.
Mm-hmm. It seems like it's doing this like down, but kind of up a little bit.
Yeah, it's a slight tick up. So we'll see what happens there. Pending sales are actually down, which is the opposite of what your local experience has been lately. There's just a lot of people buying. I think one thing to consider too with this data and some of those macro things we considered, now might be the better time to buy because prices might start going up soon. We've been saying this for a while. We thought, you know, once interest rate flattens and then maybe starts going down, all the buyers are going to come back in the market, especially if supply is low, which we'll get to that data in a second. That's probably one of the more important things.
And I want to throw this out there too. In my experience in the local Venice market, I have seen a lot more, with the contracts that I'm writing anyway, a lot more cash out there, whether it's full offer cash or like $100,000 or $200,000 down payment. So we are starting to see more cash come on the market again.
And this next data thing will kind of point to that, if it is or if it isn't. I think this data is not, I think it's averages out over the last 30 days, so it's not going to be completely like up to the minute because it's averaged out, but we'll see if it's trending in that direction. Off the market in 2 weeks, pretty low and flat-ish, but if what she's saying she's seeing locally, when we do our next real estate market update, again, to subscribe to catch that, we'll probably see that starting to go up, higher percentage of places going off market 2 weeks. That's usually a pretty good indicator of how many cash deals are happening.
Right, because and the change in the market and everything being a little more competitive again right now, not to say that we're back in 2020, 2021, but seeing a lot more deals and more cash deals come through. I would say it has been that way for at least 3 weeks from the time of filming this video, and it's June 28th?
June
30th.
It's June 30th today, so end of June.
Yes, so.
Homes sold, these next few ones are kind of important. Homes sold trending back down, but overall kind of flat. Looks like we're at the end of a peak here maybe, and it might continue to go down.
And it seems like it's following 2022's, right?
Yeah.
It's trending down just like it did in 2022.
Every year. Definitely probably more of a seasonality thing. Yeah. Again, the summers are a little bit slower. And keep in mind, like we were saying, summers are typically slower, but we're also like right at the beginning of the summer. And I think you see more things happening because more people that are like snowbirds or whatever are, they'll maybe stick around till June or put it on the market in May, and it might take that month for it to get off the market.
Yeah, and then as far as buyers go, families that are moving to the area, they have to be here in summer so that the kids can start school beginning of August.
Yeah,
so they have to be here like by the end of July.
Yeah, and I'm sure they want to get moved in, get acclimated to the area, go to the beaches and all that stuff, and get their fun in before the school year starts. New listing median price pretty flat, but if you look at the course of the last 4 or 5 months, I mean, it's had some ups and downs, but sale price, similar story.
Yeah. Trending down.
And then let's take you to...
Which I would say that's accurate too. We are able to go under contract with offers, above listing price. But again, there are some homes that do go slightly above asking or at the asking price.
Median days on market, about 30 days. It's been pretty flat the last about a month now. And 30 days is a little bit more balanced. It's better for buyers.
Typical. Yeah, a home can sell between 35 to 41 days. So 30 days is typical for financing offers. Let's
put 2020 in the mix there real quick just to compare, because that was probably a little bit more normal. I mean, 2020 is when it started to go crazy. So that's in the red.
That peak.
So at one point, yeah, well, that was probably right. Yeah.
So yeah, 6/15.
Yeah, 15, so right after the lockdown started happening and stuff. But before that, it was right around 30 days. So just to give you like historically how it normally would sit in an idea. Price drops, only about 7.8%.
Seems like it's flattening too.
Yeah.
It has been.
And again, we were talking a lot about this. You can see in the black line here, it got really crazy about a year ago, because that's when interest rate hikes started happening and people were getting a little more, maybe not worried, but they didn't, think they could afford it or just whatever. And people were getting overzealous with the listing prices. So then they ended up having to drop the price, and I think everyone's starting to get a better handle on the market now. Months of supply, this is the big one. It was down big time, flattened out, but it does seem like it is starting to tick up.
Yeah.
Which is a good sign for buyers. But again, with all the macro things happening with interest rates and just, people getting a handle on the market and just what we're seeing on a local level, I mean, we're going to need that inventory, but I don't know that necessarily means we're going to see all these big price drops and a market crash like some people say, just because of all those other factors that are coming into the mix. Average sale to list ratio is 0.97, which means, like she said, you can maybe get a house a couple grand below asking price, give or take. Just depends on the house. Each one's its own house.
Yes, each
situation
house is different. Each neighborhood is different. So, and again, with the Venice area, Sarasota area, I feel like it's pretty similar. But even then, it can vary a little bit.
Absolutely.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the area, make sure to call, text, or email us. I'm a local realtor here, 941-221-1897.
Call or text at any time. Whether you're looking to move in the next few days or the next few months, we'll always have your back. If you want to know more what it's like to live in any of the areas, Northport, Venice, Inglewood, or Sarasota, we'll have videos here, and here. If you found the video helpful, subscribe, turn on all notifications, and
live breezy.